Welcome to Conversations with Marlon Bolton, the podcast. On Conversations, we exchange thoughts and ideas with people from different experiences and backgrounds, which help shape a better quality of life for our residents. These conversations bring fresh perspectives that foster our city's growth and resilience. Our conversation starts right now. Welcome to Conversations. My name is Marlon Bolton, your Tamarack Commissioner, and we're so excited today to have Calibe Thompson. And Calibe is the Creative Director at Creative Services Agency Island Syndicate and co-founder and board president of Caribbean arts nonprofit Island Space. She is a Jamaican-American entrepreneur whose ongoing mission is to develop high-quality Caribbean-inspired media for sophisticated mainstream audiences. This sounds exciting, Calibe.
It is sometimes. Sometimes It's a little boring, but isn't everything? Yes.
Awesome. Welcome to my chair.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, we like to start with something fun, like a little icebreaker,
Okay.
right? Mm-hmm. So tell me something fun or a fact about yourself that perhaps nobody knows.
That nobody knows.
Perhaps.
I don't know about the perhaps. The fun thing that everybody likes to know is that I used to tour with Beanie Man. So I got my bachelor's degree in architecture and immediately ran off to go become a singer, which my parents loved that.
Oh my gosh.
So I toured with Beanie Man for around 2 years, toured with Kevin Little for 2 years, toured with Kimani Marley for a few years, and then got off stage and became a television producer.
Nice.
I became the first Jamaican producer to have a national series aired on public television in the U.S.
Wow.
Which was Taste the Islands with Chef Irie. And segued that into, other creative endeavors. Let's leave it at that.
We have a lot in common. I'm Jamaican as well. I love music as well.
Yeah.
I record music.
I was looking at your record up on the wall there. Very nice.
Yeah. And I've done TV too. So we are in the same vein.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And welcome to Tamarack.
Yeah, man. I used to live here for a minute as well.
Nice.
Yes, just around the corner from City Hall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Calibe, tell us about Island Space.
So Island Space is a nonprofit, and it's an acronym, right? So people ask, why is it always in capital letters? It's Island Society for the Promotion of Artistic and Cultural Education. So we're very fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah, man. So we are a nonprofit that really exists to celebrate Caribbean excellence. And that's what I have done with all of my creative endeavors from the very beginning. When creating television, it was about showcasing the best of Caribbean travel and food and culture. That's what we do with the magazine that I also publish, Island Origins Magazine. That's what we do with our company. And myself and my business partner, David Muir, a few years ago when we had turned the television show that I started into an event, the Taste the Islands Experience, we had created a little cultural niche inside of the event that people could go into and look at all these kind of old-time, Caribbean culinary artifacts. It was a culinary festival and we wanted something cultural that people could look at and engage with. And that became a little touring pop-up museum. We actually did a stint at the Tamarack Library for a month or two. And at a certain point, we had some grant funds and were allowed to do something different with them because of COVID. We had planned to do events and so forth, and we couldn't do certain things because of COVID. And our grantors at the time, the Community Foundation of Broward, allowed us to very kindly use the funds to set up a physical museum. And so Island Space's first major project as a nonprofit was to create Island Space Caribbean Museum, which is the first and only Caribbean heritage museum in the United States.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Speaking of Caribbean, how does your organization define Caribbean?
So that's always a funny question, right? Because some people will say you and I are from Jamaica, and when you're talking to Jamaican people, you say Caribbean, and you're really talking us and Trinidad and the other English-speaking islands, and we forget about the French-speaking and the Spanish and so forth. We define Caribbean as anywhere touched by the Caribbean Sea, so really not just the islands. We consider South and Central America that borders the Caribbean Sea as well to be Caribbean, as well as those places that share our colonial heritage. So the Bahamas is not technically in the Caribbean, Bermuda is not technically in the Caribbean, but we do consider them part of us.
Right. I have so many friends from the Caribbean, and they often tell me that people would ask them where they're from. Then they would say, guess where I'm from? And then the people would say, Jamaica, as if Jamaica is the only place in the Caribbean.
Where in Jamaica is Trinidad?
No.
I know the Trinidadians don't like that. I'm not making fun of you guys. It's not my fault.
We have in Tamarack so many people from all over the Caribbean, and they just love living in Tamarack.
Yes.
Where's Island Space?
Island Space is your neighbor in Plantation.
Come on.
We did a pop-up here at one point in time, so we've visited, but we are really we're actually trying to find a permanent location. We are there until December for sure, and then we're not sure where we'll be after that, but we're looking for a more permanent location. So.
Okay, wink, wink, Tamarack.
Wink. Wink, wink, Tamara. If you can help us out, let's talk afterwards.
All right. So how long has the museum existed, and how did it get started? You kind of touched on a little bit with the grant, but tell me the history from beginning.
So it got started as a little pop-up thing inside of our larger Taste the Islands experience. It was inside of a little room at History Fort Lauderdale where we were doing our very fancy multicultural event. We had chefs and restaurants from Haiti and Jamaica and Barbados and the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic. And you could come there and eat and drink and look at beautiful people and taste all kind of things. And inside of this space, we had set up this little temporary pop-up. So we had the coal stove and the Dutch pot and the monkey jar and all the little stuff from Jamaica, because that's where we were from. And Eddie Edwards from the Jerk Festival, from the Grace Jamaican Jerk Festival, came in there and he said, oh my gosh, I love this. Can you do a pop-up at the Jerk Festival? Right. And that's how the pop-up series started. So we visited with that pop-up. We would kind of bring our display cases and so forth. And we did pop-ups in Tamarack, in Lauderhill, in, downtown Fort Lauderdale, at Arlick. I think we did seven or nine locations in Broward County. And if, that was the inception of everything. So when we were able to find a space that would facilitate us being there, and we have to give thanks to the Broward Mall for doing that. Right. They've really been a partner to us for the almost 2 years that we've been there. So 2 Octobers ago, we were kind of looking around for where we could make this a more permanent space, and they opened their arms to us and have facilitated us for the last 2 years in that permanent location. So you're going to go in there, and I want to share with your listeners that you should come, bring your family, bring kids, bring older folks. It's ADA accessible. It's a beautiful space, and you hear me talking about the little old-time things. When you go in there, it's a space that you are proud of as a Caribbean person. You feel a part of, you feel like you're home. You feel proud of the very modern look and feel of the space, and you're looking at history behind glass that is really polished and really good look. Everything we do have to be good looking, right?
Yes.
And so I invite all of your listeners to come and experience it firsthand. Look it up online. NBC6 has been in there. WLRN has been in there. Like, we get good coverage because we have an amazing product to share with the community.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
And you're located in Broward Mall.
Yes.
How does one find you in Broward Mall? So where are you close to?
It's the northeast corner. So it's Broward and University. Broward Boulevard and University, and we're right across from where Buffalo Wild Wings is. Okay. If you know where the Red Robin used to be, we're inside of that Red Robin location.
Okay, that's good. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me, but why should people visit Island Space?
You are getting a little bit of history, a little bit of culture, a little bit of art. You're getting activities. You are really connecting, whether you are from the Caribbean or not, you're connecting with the culture of South Florida. Because our dear friend and advisory board member, Dr. Claire Nelson, who is the woman who pioneered Caribbean American Heritage Month. Happy Caribbean American Heritage Month, listeners. It is June, so that's what it is. But she said to me when we were starting this project, she said, we talk about the Caribbean, but you don't feel part of the Caribbean until you come to South Florida or to New York. South Florida more so than even New York. Because we're in Jamaica, we talk about Jamaica and, or we talk about the Caribbean and the only thing we know is Jamaica. We're separated by water. We're not separated by land, so you can walk across the road and meet somebody from Barbados or from Trinidad or Haiti or Cuba. When you are here, that's your community. Right? This is the Caribbean. We call it Kingston 21, right? But this is the Caribbean because this is where all of us have that melting pot.
Right.
And there has been no space that celebrates all of us. You have Little Haiti Cultural Center. You have a Cuban, I think there's a Cuban museum down in Little Havana. There has not been a space where all of us are truly represented. You might go to the Perez Art Museum and see an exhibition with everybody. But this is that first space where we're all represented. So whether you are from there, whether your neighbors or your wife or your coworkers or whatever are from the Caribbean, you've had some kind of connection. And this is where you can learn about some of that history of yourself or your neighbors or your family or, whatever, and really feel connected to something bigger than yourself. And one of the things I like to share is that we've had even people from Russia and, South America Africa walk in and say, oh, I know this thing. My grandmother used to have one of these.
Yeah.
And so as much as we think we're all special and, oh, yeah, this is my thing, it shows you how very connected we are when you walk into a space like that.
So you have the Dutchery and for the, we have so many Americans listening.
Yes.
So maybe they don't even know what Dutchy is. What is a Dutchy?
It's like a cauldron without feet.
Okay.
Right. So it's an iron pot, but when you're making, good oxtail and curry goat and some nice hela batam hela tap. Oh, go. I'm talking about the potato pudding, right?
Right.
When you're making certain food, the best way to do it is in that Dutch pot, so you get the circular heat all around. Scarf it up nicely.
Listen, why is my mouth watering all of a sudden?
Because we like to talk about food. And we still have those initial items that we did from those culinary displays. That's our most comprehensive exhibition display in the museum. Right. You have multiple countries of the Caribbean represented in there, whereas everything else is kind of a spot thing here and there. So I'm also going to invite your listeners to, if they have things check your attic, your basement, your garage, those things that you have that your grandparents maybe left with you and you were wondering if you're going to throw them out. Please don't throw them out. Bring them to the museum.
Right.
If it's garbage, you don't bring it. If it's nice artifacts, please donate.
I was going to ask you that because, there are many people who'd want to say, I want to get involved in this.
Yes.
I have the feeling that I want to get involved.
Awesome.
Don't know how yet. Maybe I can donate some stuff or donate some funds.
Yes.
Cha-ching-ching.
Yes.
Right? But how can people volunteer or get involved or how can they get involved?
I'm not going to be bashful because we are a fully private nonprofit. That means that the government is not helping to subsidize our operating costs or anything like that. They help us with grants and so forth, but we have to keep the lights on and the doors open. And so money is the first and foremost thing that we ask for. Yeah. If people can sponsor, underwrite, donate money, every little bit helps. And you can go to islandspace.org and you will see donation pages there. However, beyond that, we want to make sure that even if what you have is time, what you have is talent, what you have is stuff, that you can donate to us. So again, check whatever you have, wherever you have your family's things or anything that helps to tell the story of your own country, your own Caribbean country. Please bring that and donate to the museum. You can also, if you'd like to volunteer with us, we need people to help with storytelling and production and event execution television and social media and whatever talents you have, even begging other things, begging money on our behalf. All of those talents are very, very helpful to us. So time, your talent, your treasure, however you feel like you can be a part of it. As well, we have event spaces there. So if you want to host a party or a networking event or a workshop or just a hangout, we invite you to come there and do that. There are fees for it, but that's how we, again, keep the lights on and so forth. So support however you can.
Right. Your time, your
talent
and your treasure. I like it. I like everything about this. Yay. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So you're going to come bust a tune one day?
Listen, I'm going to come bust a... Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the radio voice.
What? I miss those days. Listen, let me stop before Barris Hammond come sue my little city.
No, man, he'd probably sit down here and enjoy listening to it. It's a nice.
We're going to send it to Barris Hammond. Yeah. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
Calibe Thompson, thank you so very much for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I want to say again, happy Caribbean American Heritage Month, happy Pride Month, happy Jamaica 60th for all of the Jamaicans listening out there. Inviting everyone, please visit the website, islandspace.org. It may not always be updated, but please do check out our social media for all of the activities that are going on. A Nancy Festival coming up for the kids on the 25th, on Saturday the 25th. So
nice.
Hopefully we'll see some families out there as well.
And you will see me.
Yay! A bossa tune!
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. I love it. This was Conversations we had today on our couch, Calibe Thompson, and wonderful person, wonderful space, island space in Plantation. My name is Marlon Bolton, your Tamarack Commissioner, saying until next time, walk good. Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Marlon Bolton, brought to you by the City of Tamarack, Office of Commissioner Marlon Bolton.